paso latido. Stan Smith from Iron Sharp K9, and we are here with a couple of guests. We have a couple of guests today. We are still in the process of naming what we're doing. This is still Conversations with Henny. Please give us a better name for this. And we are going to get our guests better seats. So we're nice in these nice, comfortable lounge chairs over here, and they over here in these beaters. Uh-oh. So, introduce yourself.
How you doing? Rashawn Jones-Davidson, veteran guru, dog handling, LLC, train dogs. In the near future, looking to recreate my own bloodline of band dog. That's really it. It's the dog world over here. I just preach, be the best version of dog you want your dog to be. That's all. Leadership.
Man, and most people, they be like, they say their name and they stop. And I always got to say, is that it? But he's giving a whole paragraph. And
oh, yeah, I'm here. I love dog. I'm a dog my damn self. So, I mean, dogs saved my life. You know, I was in the service. I got the opportunity to get some pity, some game dogs, and it went up from there, you know. So, honestly, I think every person in the world should own a dog. If you have a kid, you should have a dog, you know, teach responsibility, discipline, a bunch of things, you know, character, so connectivity. Honestly, I think dogs are a beautiful thing for this world. So anytime somebody talk about dogs, I'm excited. You know, they saved my life. So
we'll address that here in a little bit. Introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, man. My name is Corey Flowers from Carly Compound LLC. Building quality over quantity, making a better dog at the end of the leash.
Is that it?
It is.
See, if I was trying to follow him, I would keep talking and saying everything. No, just messing. Hey, introduce yourself here.
Henry, TX German Shepherd, breed of German Shepherds. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know that. Train German Shepherds, breed German Shepherds. If you want a German Shepherd, contact me.
There you go. He's getting better. By the 100th episode, you guys are going to be saying, Henry, shut up.
Yeah, I hear that sometimes.
We're getting him to talk. We're getting him out of his shell.
Hey, I don't wear my sunglasses, all right?
You put the shades on, he turns to a different person.
That was not even on camera.
Yeah, we were just on a verbal podcast at that point. No camera was involved. All right, so today we're talking about why we chose the dogs that we got. And this kind of goes with the episode that we did yesterday with Marshall about choosing the right dog for your lifestyle. And I think that is very, very important. And I think people, they'll see a dog on a movie. What was the movie? Max, John Wick, and they had Malinois in there, and then what everybody want to get? They getting these Mals and not realizing that those movies were shot with 5 different dogs. It was not the same dog doing everything. And then people wonder, well, why isn't my dog doing X, Y, and Z? Well, they had to have 5 to perform in a movie because the one dog couldn't do everything. So, what kind of dogs do you have, and why did you pick them?
oh man, I got my future 5-year plan is to recreate my own line of band dog. So honestly, I have a Cane Corso, I got some game line pitties, and I was gifted a Belgian Malinois mixed with a Dutch Shepherd. Honestly, I didn't ask for her. It was God's gift. I got her. She honestly kind of just filled in the pieces of how I maneuver in life and operate. It was a blessing. I told myself I would never get like a Shepherd breed or anything like a Belgian. I was gifted one, and we were introduced to something called PSA. So honestly, it just opened our spectrum and mindset of what we can do and accomplish. And honestly, I've been rocking her ever since. I got her 5 weeks. I was gifted her, and we've been working ever since. I met Mr. Stan the Man here, and he's honestly just been putting me on game to be the best version of myself that I could be, you know, for my dog as far as leadership. So that's why I have what I have. As far as the Bulldogs, they're just me, you know, very line drive, straight to the point, and any job that you need done, they just get that done. So there's no dog that can top that. The Corso side, that was just for my band dogs for size, the aloof and weariness of the breed. But I had my dogs honestly because they just fit my lifestyle as far as trails, hikes, my personalities. Each one kind of give me a taste of who I am, honestly, and what I need to do in life. So there's never a day where I can wake up and be like, oh, slack. You know, it's always like VGDH, let's be great, excellence, excellence, excellence. So you gotta really be the best version of dog. DAWG, you want your dog to be, you know, to be the best version of you in order to lead your dog. So leadership is really everything. I'm really big on leadership. I think the youth is the future, and I think my dog just helped me get to where I need to get to with that. So I'm blessed. That's why I have what I had.
Golly, man.
Right now, and you gotta follow that. Like, let's see, like, you gotta follow that. Let's go.
Yeah, let's see what I can come up with, man. Hey, here at Quality Combine, I have an XL bully, working bully. I chose him due to the fact of potential. I see a lot of working bullies out here being misbreed and crossed with different lines and don't have the potential that my bully have. I seen drive and athleticism. Soon to be getting Dutchies. My future goal is PSA. Why I say that is because a lot of people don't compete in PSA. It's APPDA and PPDA. PPDA has come first before putting in sports. And also, like I said, you lost me.
And what is PPD? So we got to make sure we're talking to people like who
Personal
are
Protection Dog Association. That is PPDA. For a lot of people that don't understand, PSA is Protection Sports Association. Similar the same, just a lot of PSA have a higher intent of obedience. Different scenarios still run into PPPDA, as far as the carjacking, the surprise attack, the courage test. All that creates in one PPPDA. APPDA, all of the sports are similar to the same. American Patrol Protection Dog Association stands for APPDA, pretty much the same. With that being said, my future plans is to breed a couple Dutchies and start my own K9 security company and compete at the highest level of PSA 3, and starting off with my PDC, which is the entry level of the basic PSA, PSA 1, PSA 2, and PSA 3. That's what we have for you.
Yes, sir.
There you go. And Henny, why did you pick the German Shepherd?
Well, you know why I got into the German Shepherd, but
I've known this dude for 3 years, and the other day we were talking, and I asked him, why'd you get a German Shepherd? And I've asked him before, and he's like, I just like how they work. But then he actually told a story. Was your grandfather had
my grandfather had a German Shepherd, but
and he was raised with them, and it was a shepherd.
it was the shepherd in the morning in the middle of the field. Yeah.
An actual shepherd, like he had a
Really?
stick and everything.
He had everything. He's got the hat. He had the long coat. He's got the walking stick. And he had those two German Shepherds sitting left and right next. It's like a picture, right? And he sent those shepherds, and they were working the sheep. What they were bred to do, like they were walking the sheep. Like every morning when I woke up on the way to school, I was right there every morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it was badass.
And that's a whole lot better story than just to say, I like the German Shepherd. They work. They're a working dog. Like, no, like
I need
that
this.
nostalgia, that feeling, that you can't. It's irreplaceable. And I mean, I agree with everything you said as well. Like, dogs make us better people because we can't slack off. Like, if I come home and I'm in a bad mood one day and Boot's like, hey, we're gonna do something, it's like, well, shit, I gotta go do something now. I can't just go sit in the corner, because then he's gonna be an annoying. He's gonna get on my nerves, and he's gonna make me even more mad. So it's like, fuck it, we're just gonna get up and go do something.
They never lie to you.
Yeah, and that's
They never
honest.
lie to you. Like, they never lie to you.
Oh, the fuck
Man.
You tired? You feel sorry for yourself? Come on, we gotta go work. I need a 2-mile run. Come on, I need some bike work. Come on, I need the spring pull. Like, they are honest. Humans, we can lie. Like, that's why I like humans. Cool. I want everybody to be great. But like a dog will put you in your place. Like, oh, you my leader, you my owner. Like, I need you. Come on. Today is the day where we run 5 miles. Today is the day where, we outside working on some bike work for 30 minutes, which is complex, but, to each his own with bike work, but everything, So to me, I just like it. They keep me sharp. I don't know.
So you're
Everyone
saying
needs a dog.
your dog is a part of you.
All of my dogs. All of them.
It's not just a
My
dog
pack.
that you
I have a
use
pack.
to show off and try to be cool. Like,
Yeah.
you really love your dog.
Yeah, I love my dogs.
He's-
I don't want anybody to see my dogs. Honestly, they're mine. Don't pet that motherfucker. Don't breathe his air. Don't look at him. You can, cool, they need it. But at the end of the day, that's my baby. That's my
if
pack.
I see you on the street, I can just ask you, hey, can I pet him?
Can I pet that dog?
I'll say ask my dog, I'll say ask my dog. If
You know what I normally reply? Hey, can I hold your purse? No? Yeah, get your dog, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I might steal that from you. Honestly, I might steal that from you. Hey, what was your purse really quick? I need to go to the gas station really quick. You know?
Yeah. So, what would you? How long have you had dogs?
Me, I would say I got my first set of dogs when I was, I want to say 12.
Okay, so his whole life.
No.
You
I
were
had
12?
beagles. They lasted for 2 years.
So you went from
I had to
12,
rehome
12 to
them.
14, and then
I moved to Maryland.
moved to Maryland.
I got rid of my dog. We rehomed them.
So
I've never seen
dogs.
a dog since. Them were the only 2 dogs I've ever had. But like as a kid, I used to buy like stuffed animals from like dollar stores. I'll take my grandmother's belts from the closet and I'll be walking the dog. It'd be like a husky. Come on, Dakota. Come on. You know, I'm making up these names and shit. Like,
He had a vivid imagination.
I used to really
totally different session, right?
It's like, okay.
I used to think I was a dog. I used to honestly think I was a dog, you know? So I was the only child, like my mom had me young. So like, for me, it was like dogs was cool. I used to see like Caesar Milan. I'm like, oh, snap, he got 50 dogs walking with him on a plant, you know? And then I got my beagles. I didn't really like them. I told my mom, I said, I want a pit bull. We had to rehome my beagles. So from 2012 to 2014, I had no dogs. And from 98 to what? 2010, I had no dogs. So I had dogs for 2 years.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 26. I'll be 27 next year.
I thought he was way older.
Yeah, I put you like on
I'm young.
way over 30, dude.
Nah, yeah. I wish I was shit. The way my life went, I didn't feel like it. My back, the way my...
He's saying
I know,
2024. 20, I'm like, wait, how old were you?
Yeah.
Now I feel really old.
So I would
You
say,
and me both.
I got my first dog as an adult. I would say 2018 when I was in the service. I was in the Army. I got 2 set of pit bulls,
man.
beautiful dogs I trained up. Honestly, people used to like, I used to walk down Waikiki. You know, I used to think I was cool like Nicki Minaj and her little songs and shit. People be like, hey man, can I pet your dog? And hey man, if you call him and he comes to you, you know, we would gamble like money. So people like, I'll give you $300 if, you know, you give me your dog. Hey, you call him in, I'll give him to you for free. But if he don't come to you, I'll give you you give me the $300. People will literally pay me, man. Downtown Waikiki, in front of like Gucci stores, Louis V. I'm in
Where's
the service.
Waikiki?
Honolulu, Hawaii,
Oh,
Oahu.
why Waikiki? I'm like, I don't know.
You never heard Nicki Minaj? In the islands of Waikiki. I don't want to say the rest on the podcast. It's a little vulgar.
The only Nicki Minaj songs that I've listened to is when she's on there with Lil Wayne and Drake.
Oh yeah, no East Coast guys.
I don't even know who that is.
Nicki Minaj, she got
They-
the big,
they
she got the big old
irrelevant.
booty. She got the big booty.
I don't know. I listen to country.
I don't know if you know Meek Mill.
Something got a hold of
Well,
me.
all I heard was we need to go to Waikiki and we can make $300.
Oh,
I'm
man,
gonna
you
tell
make
people, hey, if Boo leaves with you, like,
Yo,
can
you would make money. I wasn't even a dog. I wasn't even like, I didn't even consider myself as a trainer. Like, people was just like, them dogs are beautiful. I had a blue fawn pit. Now knowing the knowledge, he was a bully, you know. So, but I had a little pity, you know. I'm running around. I got these beautiful trained dogs, just super obedient. Like, I'm in the military. I was 11 bang bang infantry. So, how I operated in life, my dogs was, hey, I'm down. It wasn't no like how my Belgian now comes in. She's excited, like crackhead. Nah, my dog lay down. They who I'm on, you know. So it was a beautiful thing, and they wasn't even raised up. So I ended up getting into dogs when I got to experience them, and that was, I felt, you know, I'm not gonna say my power, but I would say I felt my connectivity with dogs with them. So I would say, you could say with my beagles when I was 10 to 12, or you can say when I joined the service and I was living on my own and I got my first 2 pit bulls. Either way, you know, I got my experience with dogs.
Well, I originally asked this question because I wanted to see what you would tell somebody who's just getting their first dog. Like, what would you tell a
Don't get
first-time dog owner?
Don't get a beagle. Don't get a beagle. They bark too
Unless
much.
you want to do some tracking.
Yeah, they bark too much.
Unless you want to do some tracking.
No.
Unless you want to do some nose
I
work.
said they got some. They got some.
When did you get your
They can
first
work.
dog?
Yeah, so it was I was asking how long you've been in dogs because you know most people are like 5 years, 10 years. And we went on a whole tangent.
My fault.
Realize he's young as shit.
Yeah, I'm a baby. Man, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a baby.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Got a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of information. We gotta do more of these stuff. We just gotta start doing it everybody that comes out. It's like, wait, when were you in high school?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So, how long have you had dogs?
I started at maybe 2017, 2018,
And how old were you in 2017?
16, 17.
Damn, he's younger.
I'm young.
Yeah, you younger than me.
All right, I'm
That's when I
21.
graduated.
Oh, 21, yeah.
You graduated. I graduated in 08.
So,
Hey, I was already under that.
That's when I became a grown man.
I don't even want to say where I was in 08, man.
It's like, hey, I have 3 marriages by 08.
so pretty much how I got started. A guy hit me up, was like, "Hey man, you want a pit bull?" I didn't know anything about bloodline. I sent the picture. I said, "Man, that's a mutt." And she had saggy face. I know pit bulls got tight face. I'm like, "Man, that's a mutt." So I got her. I started doing a little bit of training with her.
That dog
Just
ugly, but
playing.
I got her now.
Just playing. 250 spent, just playing with her. My grandma coming up, "Oh, where the hell you get this goddamn dog from?" I say, I love dogs. I want to be a dog trainer. She was like, "If he bark, he gotta go." So I let the dog sleep in the bed with me. I just fell in love with the dog. So that was every day. I get a chance, every weekend I'm putting the dog in my jacket, catching the train and the bus to a dog trainer. He teaching me some stuff. I started going to Ray Pope. He's an old school trainer, catching the bus down probably about 20 minutes with my dog in there. And then, I don't know, for some reason, I don't know why I didn't stick with him, but I started switching different trainers and started learning different things. And then I applied it to my dog. And as she started growing up, I started getting clientele. And the dog name was Amelia. I don't know why I named her Amelia, but I figured Amelia was a cool name. But I'm going to tell you the trick why I think I named her. So as she started growing up, started training, I started getting consistent clientele. And I'm starting, I'm a junior in high school now, and this is what I've been doing consistently. Then I ran into a couple more trainers from an old school, new school dog trainer Facebook group chat, and been just taking acid, just bites, learning how to take bites, decoying. Ray Post started me off in a suit, and then I started going from there. With Amelia, I started teaching her in German, Fuß, Platz, seats, Bleit, and then I started to learn from that not to use the word stay no more. One command only. If I didn't tell you a second command, there's no need for you to move again. And she started picking up. Started doing a little bite work with her, building her up. The bite work, I kind of trained her. That was my first dog, me training bite work from an old school method. Old school method is pretty cool, but the new school is a little better. If you can do a combination of both, perfect. You'll have a balanced dog. But I did a little old school method on her. Turned her into a defensive over before prey, and now she's defensive. Dog still got energy. She will bite on command, but she's a defensive dog. She would not come for a sleeve or a suit. She'll just come for anything that's acid, that's open before a suit or a sleeve. Bred her to another pit bull dog. Sold the puppies for about $800 to $1,000. All of them sold. Pretty much all my dogs came out decent. I kept updates about 2 or 3 of them. All the rest of them pretty much tried to get returned back to me because they couldn't control. So I pretty much knew what I came up with and raised up from a puppy to her. Other than that, she turned out a decent dog. That's how I got into dog training. It kind of showed me a different way than, not saying everybody shouldn't go to college, but being a young entrepreneur and trying to run your own business as a young man, it's kind of hard out here from where I grew up from, which is Chicago. A lot of street killing, and it kind of set aside me different from, following that path of being in the streets. That's why I got into dog training, and I set a stone of, from dog training, you can use a dog before a gun. Keep yourself out of jail. Don't pick up a gun before you pick up a dog. Always keep a dog first, and that's kind of what my idea was of getting into dog training, and that'd be it for me.
Yeah,
So what would you say that your
I'm
dog
taking
actually-
both. Me personally, I'm gonna have both of them. I'm gonna have me a dog and one of them things as well, just because
So
we live in Texas.
He trying to lay something down. Huh?
We live in Texas. Everybody got them out here.
you definitely need both.
Yeah.
But if you meant with picking up the gun and going the wrong direction, so would you say the dog guided you in the definitely to hit the right direction, like turning right?
Basically, what I was saying is before, like, say if an active threat come, somebody hold a gun up, you don't want to take that shot first. And if you got a dog, use the dog as a distraction, then shoot. Because then if the police come and they say, "Oh, you shot first" or whatever, and you say you got a dog and then send a dog, then possibly consequences come. That's the Chicago rules. They arrest you for anything. Everywhere else is kind of different rules, but I was stating to the fact of if you have a dog and it's trained, all dogs bite. If it's trained to bite, send a dog before you actually decide pulling your gun. The gun is the last resort.
And I mean, and there's for average civilians, there's only certain amount of places that we can take weapons in. So dogs they're going to be more accepted in certain places. Like I can't take a weapon into a bank, but I can take my dog. I can't take my weapon into a post office, but I can take my dog. Restaurants, all these different places, bars. Yes, I totally agree. If I go somewhere, I want to have a dog with me. Like when we travel, I got a dog with me. So would you say dog training or dogs in general were something that put your life on a different path versus, did you play sports or anything growing up?
I played football.
And do you see any correlation between like sports and dogs?
Pretty much nah. Like I said, I'd rather stick with dog training than sports. Like I said, it could be balanced, depending on how far. A lot of people want to take it far in sports. I was a quarterback at Simeon. I played quarterback all my life. I had a lot of college offers, but that motivation just wasn't there for me. You know, I would say it's not a life changing. It's just a dream that you want to get to. Dogs is kind of much a life changing. It's a safety. It's an everyday behavior change for you. It's an everyday safety. The bigger picture is, like I said, everybody want to say, "Oh well, I got a gun," and claim a gun. The population of jail cells right now is overstacked in maybe 52 states, all of the states pretty much. El Paso is the biggest jail cell right now. Chicago is the number 2. So going to sports, you can still lead, in the wrong direction. Having a dog as your best friend can kind of guide you in a different area. Or maybe if you want to be dealing with sports and a dog, kind of open your options than limiting your options, because everybody not gonna make it in sports.
So when I say there's a correlation between sports and dogs, it's like when I got into dogs is I tore my meniscus when I was in college, and I couldn't compete anymore because my mind saying, "Hey, do a spin move," and my knees like, "No, you can't do that no more." Like you won't be able to walk tomorrow if you do that. So what got me into dogs is the competition side of things, like in not even just competing in sports, just I can push my dog way further than I could have ever pushed myself with sports wise.
I agree.
Meaning we got these dogs climbing up walls, we got them pulling weight, we got them working out, running marathon, all of this shit, right? And that's why I love dogs now, because I can't compete like I used to. I played sports my whole life: basketball, track, football, baseball. I did sports, but dogs have been really my replacement for that, because it is training regimen, it's consistency, it's confidence, it's everything that we did in sports. I just instilled into the dog. And when I'm talking to clients, people that are coming out, like I want them to understand in their world. So I always, whenever I ask anybody, I'm like, "Hey, what did you used to do? What did you like to do?" If it's music, okay, cool. I'm gonna make every music reference that I can, so you understand that the same thing that you did learning how to play the piano, your dog has to learn how to basically play the piano. So that's what I was saying with that. Not necessarily like they're the same, they're fucking different shit, because anybody, and this is the problem with dogs, is anybody can train a dog. And just because you can train one style of dog there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm a professional dog trainer now. And you get a lot of people who can train one way. And if the dog doesn't do the one thing, they say, oh, that dog's shit. Like, you need to get a different dog because their techniques aren't working. Versus actually, like we talked about, being able to read a dog, build a dog that shouldn't probably do X, Y, and Z, being able to do it. Me personally, I get like that. It just fascinates me to work with something that shouldn't do it. Like, people are like, why'd you get an Australian Shepherd? Well, have you ever seen one doing anything that I do with mine? They're like, no. That's why. You asked why I got a Dalmatian? I had a couple of old fashions. I had me some birds, and I'm on Facebook and I'm scrolling, right? And I see somebody. I'm like, huh? She said she got three Dalmatian puppies. I'm like, I've only trained one. I've trained 1,000+ dogs in my 10 years that I've been working dogs, and I've only trained one Dalmatian. So I was like, huh? Could I train a Dalmatian? Like, I've never seen one in bite work. Never seen one doing agility stuff. You don't see Dalmatians doing anything. So I was like, shit, can I do this? And it's a completely different process than I ever would have thought. Like, she reminds me of my least favorite dog that I've ever trained. A German Shorthair Pointer. It was the worst dog I've ever worked with. I ain't never hated a dog, but like, I hate this dog. Like, he was just dumb. But at the same time, he had potential, and I just had to learn a different technique. So like, seeing her act, and I'm like, oh fuck, okay, cool. I have to have a whole lot more patience. I have to grow as a person to even fucking deal with this dog, because it's not a Mal, it's not an Aussie, it ain't a Pity. It ain't nothing that we're used to working with. It's going to be a completely different perspective. And that's why I like the off-breed dogs. People are like, man, you know what you can do with a Mal? I'm like, yeah, I know. But I don't want one. Because if I don't have that fucking dog getting me a beer out of the fridge, or I don't know if you've seen the dog Monkey, like climbing on a type rope, he has a dog painting. Like, all of this shit. Like, if you're not doing that with a Malinois, like, you're trash. Like, people, oh, I got a Malinois, he does bite work. Okay, cool. They're doing that at 6 weeks old. You're not actually doing anything with this dog. Because they're supposed to do it. The same reason why I won't get a German Shepherd. They're supposed to do these things. I wanted a challenge. That's why I got the dogs that I got. They're a working dog, so why could they not do X, Y, Z? Definitely a different path. It's not easy, and it's frustrating. Like, trying to get Boot to bite full mouth, like, he's fucking 2 right now. If I had a Mal, he'd been biting full at 4 months old, and we would have been working on some completely different stuff. But it's just a different path. And it's just like, we have to make sure that we're telling people our experiences. We're helping people grow, because they think, oh, I have to have this kind of dog to do this stuff. And a lot of people, I think, would do more with their dogs if they even thought that it was possible. I've had people, I literally got a message in my inbox right now. This lady's like, hey, I got a red merle Aussie, and I want to do bite work too. I'm like, yes, we impacted somebody's life. They think that they can do something that they never saw before because we did it. And Boot, he ain't the best bite dog in the world. He's probably never go catch a body. When we say catch a body, knock somebody down off a sit. I mean, shit. He can get there. He can get there.
No, he caught Jameer before.
Fuck with Boo. Fuck with Boo. He ain't giving him his credit.
And he knocked Adrian down.
Boo had my young bull. Look, Boo had my young bull eating the dirt.
He's 5. He's a 5-year-old.
It don't matter. My young bull do push-ups, wall sits, pull-ups.
And he's talking about his kid.
Yeah, I'm talking about my kid. Don't let him.
No, I mean,
don't let him talking that.
So, but one thing that actually happens that a lot of people are not aware of if you train a dog like that, it teaches you about dogs in general. It teaches you more to pay attention to the body language of the dog, the behavior of the dog, the bite. You're gonna pay more attention how a good bite feels like, what it's supposed to look like. and how to work on certain problems, and which transfers over if you have a dog like a German Shepherd, Malinois, a good working dog who wants to do that stuff. It makes it a lot easier to fix or to see certain problems in a dog and to work with certain issues if you're used to deal with dogs that are actually not meant to do it. But you still get them to a point where they're doing stuff. Yeah, they will never reach the level of one of those breeds that are made to bite, made to protect, all that stuff. But in real life situation, not everybody has been bit, but once you get bit the first time, that's an oh fuck moment, and it's gonna get you out of whatever you're thinking of right now. It's gonna get you to, and it can be the smallest dog. It can be the smallest dog, gives you one good bite, and yeah, you turn around.
And it's about time at that point. And that's what I was alluding to. It's like, I know he's not. Boot's never gonna hit somebody like Dax does. He's not gonna hit like Creed. He ain't gonna hit like Rocco. But he's gonna do what he needs to do. And in a real situation, he has teeth. Yeah. And he's gonna engage.
And here's a good thing. I mean, in real life situation, you're gonna get Boot back.
So what do you say? You ain't getting Dax back. You
see Boo open his mouth, he's like biting his shit.
It's like, you like that shit too much, man.
No.
You see on your own
He's
dog,
like, hey,
man.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't get my dog off of you now. But again, man, if you're thinking about getting into the dog world, patience. Be patient. Everybody always asks, can you give me advice? I just got this 8-week-old puppy. What can you tell me? Let the dog grow up.
So we talk about that a lot, right? And even if you have a dog from an awesome breeder, awesome bloodlines, all that kind of stuff, people immediately compare this dog to another dog they might even just see on YouTube, or wherever they see that their dog is doing whatsoever, and they believe my dog has to do that because my dog is the same litter, it's the same bloodlines whatsoever. And my club even tells me I'm too far behind and I got to do something. Don't listen. Take your time with your dog, and everybody is different. I'm a different person, different trainer as any three of y'all. There are things that everybody has in common normally when people train together, and then there are things that people are different, and I can't force. I will never be able to teach you how I hold my leash and what I feel when I hold the leash a certain way. So you correct your dog a totally different way with the same collar, with the same prong collar, slippy, whatever it is. Your corrections, that's pain. Your corrections are totally different. The way how you present a reward is totally different. Nice. Even if I keep teaching the same thing, your timing is totally different. So we will never be able to get this, even the same dog to the same level with the same amount of training. We will never be able to match that. It will not happen. So stop comparing yourself with somebody else and just take your time with your dog. And especially people, you say 8 months old. Man, I purposely didn't train my dog for the first year of his life. Yeah, and yeah, there are things that I got to catch up, but I don't have any. Where does the pressure? Who gives me the pressure? The pressure doesn't come from anywhere. It's my dog. Yeah, I got all the time.
But like you said, people are comparing their dog to a dog they've seen on the internet.
Yeah.
And that's the worst thing you can do, because we've all seen AI edited videos. We've all seen people edit videos. Like, we've worked with some dogs, and you watch the video online, you're like, man, that dog's moving fast. That dog's hitting hard. He's launching. He's doing everything. And then you work that dog in person, and you're like,
yeah,
he's actually slow.
That's when you see him flinching and doing all those kind of things. Yeah, it happens all the time.
So like, I mean, I think I even told you that the other day. I was saying, hey.
I was gonna say, can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
Yo, personally, out of all the people I met, when I tell you honorable men with character that like always keep it 100, I almost said it being. They always keep it 100 with you.
The kids.
Like, they will always let you know what's going on, or like the real. So, like what he said, like building your dog, or you see highlight tape. Yeah, it's cool seeing Derrick Henry highlight tape. 6'3", 230 pounds at 16. Cool. But what are your off days like? What are your, so a lot of the times people want a dog and they don't see the full spectrum of who that dog or the breed or the kennel or what they produce. Like, honestly, I've never even been alerted or educated on that until I've met these two young men right here. Because honestly, it's like, hey, what are you looking for to training? Okay, you have an LLC, you're creating content. Hey, show the actual send time of your dog. I'm a prospect of that, I'm new to video editing and stuff. I'm speeding the shit up. I'm like, oh, it look cool. Nah, but what's the real? Would I rather see somebody who, has 40 points on one game of a team that's 1-10, or would I rather see somebody who's consistently dropping 40 a game on, consistent competition? And that's what you want to see. What's the consistency? What is the true meaning or image behind your handling and your dog? I know we say training a lot of times, but handling, you can't really train a dog, especially when you have a beast. You can guide it. You can lead that dog to be where it needs to be. But as a handler, who are you? Are you the dude that's going to skip your 2 reps when you know you're an inch away from the line? You going to back up, or you going to touch the line and then, or go past the line, surpass the line, and then go back to the start? And it's stuff like that. Like, when you get dogs, when you teach dogs, when you handle dogs, like, what is your purpose behind grabbing this dog? The Australian Shepherd, to him, Boo is amazing. He's an amazing dog, phenomenal. You can take him to a hospital. He can do hospice. You can, this dude's pissing me off. Let me go send him and bite him on his tush, or, just in the sense, like, and I'm being goofy, but on some real, like, don't do that. So in a sense, it's like, what is the purpose of you having your dog? What do you need from this breed? Do you want a Mastiff who's aloof and wary of people, or do you want a Pit Bull who's gonna go out and get people, or do you need a pug that sleep like a lion, 22 and 2? Like, it's just up to the individual. But I feel like a lot of times we reach for the wrong places for knowledge. So we might get a breed, boom, it's cool. I got handed my little Belgian, Barry the Second. Cool, I'm a military guy. I'm repping military right now. Infantry, 11 bang bang. Barry the Second, he's awesome. Do I want this kind of dog? Do I need a Dutchie cross with the Belgian cross, or do I like the Pit Bulls? I got the Belgian, cool, she's high speed. It fit me. Now, it's never a day off. But in a sense, are you like a lackadaisical motherfucker, that wants to chill? You need a pug. Don't get a dog that you can't. If it's not going to elevate you and the dog intimidates you, what's the purpose of even experiment? Why invest in something that doesn't fit your character, your aura? If I was a soft, lackadaisical dude, don't hurt me, please, cool, let me get my pug or my little chihuahua. But if you can't be no like novice owner and want like a game bred pit bull or like a dog like Dax. I love Dax. They think he's wild. I think Dax is like amazing. So as an individual, what is the purpose behind what you need with the dog? Like the question they said. I gave my answer why I have what I have.
Hey, you said something very, very impactful. I don't even know if you know how impactful it is. A lot of people get these big, powerful dogs, but they're actually afraid of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they don't know at all how to handle. Handle means how to communicate with that dog.
Mm-hmm. And I tell everybody, whatever dog you get, you're probably going to have to read from the book of Psalms to that dog to let them know, hey, Jesus is real. And people are getting these Corsos, they're getting the Mastiffs because they're like, I want a big, powerful dog. But they actually don't need a big, powerful dog because they're afraid of it. And those dogs end up taking advantage of people, and then they actually become a liability, and you can't handle that dog. And then you've allowed this dog who's 150 pounds at 2 years old, and then you're like, do you know anybody? I think I get 2 phone calls a week. Hey, I got these dogs and they're aggressive. Do you know anybody who can? No, I don't.
I just got one outside when I took the dog out.
I believe it. Yeah. The dog is biting and barking at everybody, and it's like, okay, well, did you ever correct it? No. The hell? Why not? Well, I wanted him not to like anybody. Okay, cool. You got exactly what the fuck you were looking for. And now you're trying to give this dog up to somebody else who the dog doesn't like anybody.
But you know how that comes? Once it's those fucking movies. And the other thing is because my neighbor has one and his dog is cute.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, people get these fucking dogs.
people don't want to train. They don't want to train. No, they don't want to put the time in it. They don't want to put the discipline in it. They don't want to be consistent, patience, and a lot of times it's you buy the dog and the rest of your family doesn't want the dog. So it's then everything is good for you, but then the rest is like, hey, they don't like the dog. They don't put the time and effort in. It's just a lot of confrontation from between the dog and the handlers, family, the whole living, and which turns around to confusion. And the dog is not going to be what the dog can be, and it's going to take advantage of it too. Dogs are black or white. Like, hey, I want to do this, I'm going to do it. No consequence. Screw you, right? Even if they love you, they don't care.
And it's not even necessarily no consequence. If the consequence isn't effective enough to change the dog's behavior. And that doesn't mean you got to beat the shit out of your dog to get them to listen. It's letting them know that if you cross this line, there's something that you don't want on that end. And that doesn't mean, again, beating the shit out of your dog, smacking them, none of that. Sometimes it's like, hey, I'm going to ask you to do something for a meal. And if you don't listen, you don't get that meal. And I tell people that in training. I'm like, hey, if the dog doesn't listen during mealtime, like, don't feed him. They're like, wait, what? Like, don't feed my dog? Yeah, because if he's going to flip you a bird when you're trying to feed him, he's going to learn that he can flip you a bird. And he needs to know, like, yeah, there's some dogs, you have them on a leash, you have them prong collar, e-collar, they're going to fucking listen to everything because they know, okay, I have all this on, I can get corrected. I want my dogs to know if I whisper something to you, it still has value. It's up.
We talked about feeding earlier, and it's like there are some people who will not feed their dog without the dog has to work for it all the time.
Oh yeah,
which I believe is wrong. And I do believe in, if you want to call it manners or whatsoever, you tell your dog to sit and wait. The dog's got to sit and wait.
Yeah.
But
we've actually had that conversation because I think he said his dog won't eat out of a dog bowl.
Yeah, my dog.
I told him pretty much
you just
it's similar with my paycheck.
don't
right?
eat, bro.
I work my 40 hours. I get them. I've got them written. Get my 40 hours, and at the end of 2 weeks, I get my paycheck, right?
Yeah.
But when I get my paycheck, my boss doesn't call me in the office and say, "Hey, you worked all that. Here's your money, but I still need you to do something else."
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
So you say having a hand for your dog is good. Why?
Now honestly, create the best bond. You can gain the most focus, understanding your dog, trusting, honesty with you and the dog, and also just reading behavior. It's more things to hand feed.
Okay,
but
so how long does it take you to hand feed a dog?
I'll say I'll do hand feeding for a year. Honestly, that's my opinion. Me personally,
I'm saying each session that you're hand feeding the dog.
I won't hand feed probably maybe 10, 15 minutes at the most. At the most.
You only have one dog.
Yeah, 10, 15 minutes at the most.
Okay. I got 7 dogs. I'm not hand feeding shit. And yes, I agree. You can develop a relationship with the dog by making them work for their whole meal. But who has time for that?
I did what I do.
That's me.
I got the food bowl.
That's how I be my dog.
Put some water in it. Yeah. Whatever goes in there. Tell my dog, don't be a dick. Don't jump up on me. Right? I might tell him to sit or down. I put the food bowl down. I said, hey, enjoy, buddy. We're going to then rest because we got a day ahead of us and I want you to work for me.
Yep.
So I know where people do the hand feeding. I personally don't do it. I see it more like you don't have to do, like, I want to feed you because I love you, buddy. Here's your food. Enjoy your fucking food. And I decide how much I'm going to feed you. If I know I'm going to have a training session with food tonight, I'm going to feed you only half of it because the rest of it is going to be treats. But the regular food, my dog doesn't have to work. That's just me. My dog doesn't have to work for it. I feed him, say, hey, there you go, buddy. And I actually feel good. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel more like here and there. And I see where the hand feeding comes in too. But I just say, hey, there's your food. Enjoy, buddy. I actually feel good about it. So,
Yeah.
what was that?
He's got to break the seal. he got to take him a potty break. He got to take him a potty break.
He's so young.
Right? He should have a better bladder than that.
Yeah. I should have been the one gotten up like 3
I was about to
times
get
already.
that. I was actually able for me.
But yeah, so
But-
I don't let my dogs. They don't have to do anything to get their bowl itself.
And there's nothing wrong with hand feeding dog. I just don't have the time because 15 minutes times 7, that's a long time.
It takes me already 15 times 7 to go for a walk for 5 to 10 minutes just to have them pee and poo. I'm already out here for 1.5 hours just to walk 7 dogs. So
We had to remember the stuff that we're doing with our dog.
Yeah.
General public isn't.
yeah,
Like, general public's not hand feeding a dog. And
Yeah.
yes, there are benefits from it, but I get the same benefits when I lure my dogs because I'm hand feeding at that point, but I'm also using a high value reward. So there's somebody, I went to a training lesson the other day, and I was like, they're feeding their dog. I'm like, what are you giving them? They're like, oh, it's their kibble. I'm like, why are you giving them their kibble as a treat? Well, somebody said that they should work for kibble. I'm like, okay, cool, it makes sense, but I guarantee your dog gets distracted, and then they don't give a shit about that kibble. Excuse me. They don't give a shit about that kibble. They're like, yeah, if we go a new place, she doesn't care. It's not a valued reward. It's like, if somebody's giving me fucking pennies, it's like, yeah, it's money. If you want to give me a penny, cool. That's just going to add up. But, like, if I got other shit that I'm going to do, you giving me pennies, I'm going to go do some other shit.
I just say, how does Vegas do it, right? If you sit on that machine, you put 1 penny in, and you win the fucking jackpot.
Yeah.
Oh damn! You only go to fucking penny machines. So if I go to my dog and make him 1 rep, 1 good down, 1 good sit stay, down stay, whatever it is, not for 10 minutes, 1 good nice stay that I'm happy with, and I put that football down, that's fucking jackpot.
Yeah.
That's a jackpot, and it's a good repetition. It's a nice reward, and the dog is like, what the heck? So I do maybe 1 repetition for a train. I do one little one. And
Yep.
whatever it might even be healing back and forth 1 time, but that's it.
Yep.
Like
I tell people 3. I won't do more than 3 reps with the dog. I mean, even in like a training session, like I'm not asking them to do it more than 3 times in a row, because if the dog is doing it already, I want to stop while the dog is here. Again, if they're here at 3, now they're here at 4, now they're here at 5, now they're here at 6, and they keep going down. And a lot of people are like, yeah, my dog starts off the session good, but then ends badly. I never want to end a session badly.
And you know why it ends badly? Because you overdoing the training.
Yeah.
Short sessions builds consistency and happiness and wanting to do it more.
Oh, cheers, Mike.
And you
don't have to
overdo
hide.
it, or you keep getting that behavior and you like it, and keep liking it, it starts to get slower, boring. Now you looking at it like, God damn, you mad. Now the next day he come in, he think he gonna do it longer and longer. He don't want to do it no more.
Exactly, and that's what I tell people all the time. Stop while your dog still wants to do it. You can always come back and build from there. But if you get to the point where your dog, like the dog stops bringing the ball back on fetch, I'm like, cool. You throw the ball until they get tired, and they're like, yes. Don't.
So what does it on top of that? If you end up on a bad reputation. So yeah, the dog, the reward is in the dog's head, was a bad rap, I didn't get anything out of it. But what does it do to you as a handler?
Oh, it frustrates you.
You're gonna be frustrated, you might feel bad, you might feel disappointed in your dog, and people don't believe it, but you're gonna act different to your dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not gonna go back and be happy with him. You're not gonna be, hey, come on, buddy, let's go for a walk. Good job today, or whatsoever. I mean, I'm talking to my dog like that. I'm like, hey, you did good today, or I said, dude, you've been a dick today, right? But it's like me myself. I'm gonna treat my dog differently, and I'm gonna treat him differently when I go out for a walk. And the dog will know if I, hey, why you being a dick today to me? I'm like, You the one who fucked me up the training. I was
mean,
good.
that's
I was
fair.
good. I was working for you, and you did not reward me. I was working and working my ass off. If you go to work and you work your ass off, you do all the extra work for your boss, and you don't even get a freaking thank you. You don't want to come back and do anything.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the dog. So sometimes if your dog does great, stop.
Stop while you're
Stop.
ahead.
And it like, this is something we can talk about one day, but I learned a lot about me and my dogs in the last few years. And
Oh shit, you
there's
and
no
both.
time right now. But
We always got time.
so no, therefore there's no time right now.
Never rush
Um,
to failure. That's probably
but-
the greatest.
I mean, and that's one thing that I learned from Oakley. Like, I wanted her to be perfect at 6 months old because we were going to go over to Denmark and compete in a trial. So like, we focused on healing, we focused on change position, we focused on everything, and like, it had to be right.
Mhm.
And she was good, but then the bitch went in the heat, and we weren't even able to go compete. So then she got to the point where she knew she had to be perfect, so she wouldn't try things and fail.
Mhm.
So like, there'd be a situation she doesn't know what to do. There's a jump, there is a tunnel, whatever. She would do nothing before trying and failing because she didn't want to get corrected for failing. And it was my fault.
Did it?
With Rocco, I allowed him to figure out a lot of shit. And again, at 10, Rocco's 11. He just turned 11 in February. But at 11 years old, I will put him up against any fucking dog. I don't give a shit who it is. If it's an untrained scenario, if we're like, hey, nobody knows what's about to happen, but your dog has to go do something, I'm taking Rocco every day. Every fucking day, even at 11. He's going to figure it out. It may not be the way that you thought the dog should do it, but he's going to figure it out.
But because you were a lot nicer with him, right?
No, I was way harder on Rocco than I
No,
was
but
on any of my
in
dogs.
general, with you learned a lot from your shepherd as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you know how you treated the dogs differently.
Because I expected her to be Rocco as well.
Exactly, that's what I mean. So you had to put all that pressure on there, and it's not going to happen. But what you do at the same time, your dog knows when you're mad at your dog.
Oh, facts.
So, and if you train and you get frustrated because they don't do anything, you keep training, the dog is already probably like, I don't like to be next to you. So now you correct it. We're not going to go anywhere. You're going to make steps backwards. And you're going to just ruin this dog's confidence, and where if you would have given it a day or two, you might have reached exactly where you wanted to be.
Yep.
So,
Patience is key.
no.
Man,
I mean,
I can talk
Never
about fucking
rush
dogs
to failure.
all day. I can
Dog's
We
life.
can talk about this
Never
all day.
rush to failure, man. You're going to set yourself up.
Well, again, people, we appreciate y'all listening to us ramble about some dogs. If there's one thing that you could leave the audience with, new dog owners, what is something that you would tell them to look for when they're getting a dog?
Take what your dog give you. What I mean by that is,
I was gonna say you gotta give a little bit more than that. That was that's great. I agree with everything you just
I
said.
know what you meant.
Yeah.
But-
And then they're like, you should elaborate.
okay,
But we gotta elaborate.
take
They don't know
what
what
your
that is.
dogs give you. What I mean by that is, bit by bit. If you want him to do something you don't understand it might be a heel. If he don't heel, if he do a sit, that sit is perfect. If you want him to do a down and he goes into a heel, take whatever he gives you. Don't rush a lot of things. And also, what I mean by that is, if he don't do what you want, don't add a command. That's what goes back to the learn. It helps a lot. You don't have to add a command to everything until he start doing it on his own, and that's when you figure out a command. Also, another thing is, I'm gonna tell you a secret. Dogs don't know language; they know repetition, and I'm gonna leave it with that.
What would you tell somebody
Joint
who's
was so good.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Hey, what do we say? Take care of your dog. we can't end on that one. Just leave somebody something that you learned going through dogs. That's somebody who is trying to get into dogs, man. It's just
Do your research. Do your research. Are you gonna go buy a Kia, a Prius? You know, what are you?
Hey,
You know,
Kias are coming up in the world now. So.
yeah, Kias are it.
Hey, Kias
But
are
it's
coming
like,
up in the world right now. But
I should not name brands. I should say, do you need a sedan, an SUV, or do you need a truck? You know, and in a sense, like, look at your life. Look yourself in the mirror and evaluate yourself. How do you live? And then from there, like, don't look at dog. I mean, it's an animal first, but there's like 117, 120, 20-something dog breeds that are recognized. Do your research. Like, how do I live? If you like watching TV and eating popcorn, like, get a pug. If you're active, like, go get a Belgian or, you know, a pit bull or a Dutchie or...
Don't get a Belgian. Do not get a Belgian.
Yeah, I'm a bulldogger, so I'm always gonna say get a bulldog out of every breed. I mean, a game pit bull.
And when he
the
says
nanny
bulldog, he does not mean a bulldog.
Yeah, I don't
He
mean a
means
bulldog.
Pit bull.
Yeah, pit bull. American pit bull terrier, like old school, rustic. Yeah, that.
That
But
40,
just
the 45 pounds and down.
yeah. You know what I mean? Dry, not even dry. But in a sense, like, I would just say, you know, find a dog that fits you. And in a sense, dogs are all dependents. So in a sense, like, you have to be able to lead that dog. How are you going to lead that dog? If you can't lead a Belgian or what they call them, alligator. If you can't lead a alligator, don't get a alligator. If you can't lead a Corso, don't get a Corso.
If you can't lead a corgi, don't get a corgi.
Don't get one. Like a healer, if you need a pug or a chihuahua where you can pick up and say no, like
Corgi.
stuff like that, you know, like just be
Them Yorkies are terriers too. They still got it in them.
be cognizant, you know. And if you're a new time, like first time dog owner, I wouldn't even say get a terrier at all, because it's like having I don't know if this
A
is
demon.
professional. Yeah, having a demon, somebody just high energy all the time. If you're not a high energy person, what do you need that dog for? Go get a pug. There's nothing wrong with a pug. There's nothing wrong with a Shih Tzu. There's nothing wrong with, you know, these different breeds. But like a lot of people say, oh, he got this American Bully. He's 150 pounds. You know, what I seen yesterday, if a 150-pound bully break off the damn O-ring or a carabiner, you gonna be able to sit there and take the bite, or you gonna be scared running. You know, yesterday that kind of opened my eyes. You know, so in a sense, it's just like, do your research on your breed of dog. If you know you want a dog, do your research on the breed, and then be the best version of yourself for that dog, so you can lead that dog to be the best version of itself. And that way you're like this. So you don't have to worry about marriage. You don't have to worry about girlfriends or boyfriends, or, you know, your dog is like, they can't lie to you. So that bonding of communication and imagery is there. Always just do your research. Take your time. Never rush to failure. And when you pick your breed that's for you.
Hey.
I'm not trying to be mean, but if you fat and lazy, get a pug. You don't need an American pit bull terrier.
He brought out that F word. We gotta stop before he starts going on a more of a tangent.
That's bad.
No, I'm just fucking with you.
I was gonna say, if you're not physically fit, now we're gonna go to PH instead of F.
If you ain't an athlete, don't get an athletic dog.
Yeah, don't get an athletic dog.
But again, people, we appreciate you guys checking us out. We'll probably do some more of these conversations. And again, this is a conversation about dogs. This is stuff that we've gone through, we've learned over the experiences and the situations that we've been in. And hopefully it helps you in your decision to get a dog. Or it helps you in your decision to not get a particular dog. But again, working dogs need to be worked. As always, people, stay tuned, stay safe, stay sharp. Just take care of your dog.
Love your dog. Don't be a dick.
Be the best version of dog you want your dog to be.
Oh, you don't have a cheer?
Leadership.
Professional.
Yeah, I love that.